I've been an addict for, I'll say, probably 12 years. It started with pills. I had surgery and sinus surgery and got hooked on the medicine. Soon that wasn't enough. I was eating the whole script within days. Couldn't get them filled fast enough and couldn't buy them off the street fast enough. So I turned to methamphetamine and cocaine.
I was an avid methamphetamine user since the age of 17 years old. I sold a lot of drugs in this area, and so they decided to execute a warrant at a friend of mine's house. I was charged with felon in possession of a firearm and drug paraphernalia. When the indictment came out, they threw in 2 distributions of a controlled substance in it. I had 3 prior felony convictions, and I just knew right then that my life was in complete chaos and unmanageable.
My God moment, though, was while he was in jail. That was my wake up. It wasn't after the door was kicked in. It was, I got a phone call from my oldest daughter. The last person I wanted to talk to was my kids right then. I picked up the phone and she's crying her eyes out and she says, "Mom, I had a dream that I want to tell you about." And I was like, "What was it, honey?" And she says, "God come to me in my dream and told me to tell you that everything is going to be okay." I was at a point where I had lost everything. I had lost the man that I loved. I had lost my children, who were the reason that I breathed. To not have them, I felt like I was useless. There was no reason for me to be here. I had tried every road. I had tried to fill myself with everything except with God. So when I reached on my way to the treatment program, actually, my mom grabbed my hand and said a prayer with me, and a weight was just lifted off of my shoulders. I knew that I was on the right road that I needed to be on. I knew that I was going where I needed to go to get the help that I needed.
I would have to say the pivotal moment in my life was when our door got kicked in, and I watched her disappear in the rear view of the cop car, and I sat in the holding cell for overnight. And the next morning when I woke up, I had a sweet little mail lady named Marsha Causey knocking on my window asking me why I was back. And I just broke down crying and asked her for a Bible. I spent the next 9 months in the Talbot County Metro and did nothing but try to, seek God's word and His direction for my life. As a condition of my release, I was ordered to go to the Foundry Ministries program, and I just told myself that it didn't matter what was going to happen. That prison, no prison, treatment program. That I was just here for God's purpose now. That I was just fed up with my life, being stripped of custody of the kids, and burning every bridge that I ever created. Had carried too much weight. I couldn't go on. The only thing I knew to do is to just turn to God. I had a moment one night sharing my testimony with a cellmate, and just hit my knees and told God that I'm ready to do whatever He wanted me to do, to just have His way with me. And from that moment on, every day I would get up and I'd pray for restoration of family, pray for the restoration of not only our relationship, but the relationship with our kids, the relationships that had been damaged as far as her family went and how they felt about me. And for the next year and a half, as I went through the Foundry Ministries program, I would go to the chapel every morning, and those were the things that I would pray for. And there's not one thing that I prayed for throughout that year and a half that has not been restored to me, and restored more abundantly than I could have ever imagined. Post-treatment, we decided that we were going to go and try to have the decree with her and her first husband amended to where I was allowed to be around the kids, but it wasn't a process that happened overnight. And slowly but surely things worked themselves out, and we stand here as a whole family. There is no stepdad, there is no stepmom. There's
mom and dad.
There's mom and dad, bonus mom and dad, and that goes for the opposite ends of those, the parents involved in those children. Their fathers and mothers on the other side of things are bonus moms and bonus dads, and we operate as one unit. And her family invites me over, loves me to death now, and that we thought that there was never any chance of that.
Yeah, I could never even get my grandmother to say his name. She called him Diddly Doo. She wouldn't even say Jared.
And she's watching our child for us right now. But God's just showed out in our lives, and He continues to show out every day for us.
Yes, He does. I am Cara, and because of God, I am restored.
I am Jared, and because of God, I am restored.
Because of God, our relationships are restored.
Yeah. And this is why we worship.